You want me to tell about when we what we done back there, huh? We moved from over on Valley Creek there, about 2 miles over there. We lived there, and I think it was in 11, 12. And we had to walk from school over here on Spring Creek over here to this windmill where you turn back toward the highway. Us kids had to walk all the way across there and cross all those creeks. And me and Red didn't get to go to school much, just a few days. So we stayed home most of the time, and the next year, in 1914, Papa rented just a place right here where we live now, and moved over here to get close to school. It was a lot of inconvenience at that time. Our house stood up there on where the road stood right in that corner where the road dead ends going to Winters and Wingate and Abilene. So we stayed there, made a good crop in 1915, and we was having to drive our cattle, our milk cows, that's all we had, milk cows, down the road there. Us kids would have to drive them down the road to the pasture down here on the creek and water, and he kept our mules up until laying by time in the lot and fed them. We drew water for our stock out of an old well about 40 feet deep there with a 5-gallon bucket. Of course, I didn't draw much. Irvin now sure drew a mini 5-gallon bucket full. So after about in 1915 we made a bumper crop, and my dad had a bunch of cotton. He held a bunch of cotton for higher prices. And in the summer of 1916, I believe it was, or 15 or 16, I guess, he sold that cotton and bought this place, $25 an acre. And about 1917, he had all that up there he wanted, and he moved the house down here at the present location. And we moved down there. He redone it. We built us a barn and all, and we lived there. Biggest part of my life. I was a great big old kid, wasn't fit for much, and on this place, I guess I was about 8. And the year we moved down there, I learned to swim right down here in this old bluff hole. So me and Uncle Red, we learned to swim at the same time. We just stayed in there till we did. They wasn't like we are. Mom and Papa didn't care much how much we roamed around on this old creek, but nowadays we'd be afraid for our kids to get out that way. We hunted and we played and entertained our neighbors. We had a lot of good neighbors that visited with us a lot. And us kids had good buddies, the Jackson boys and the Reagan boys and the Robinson boys. Every boy in the community, they would gang up here and we would play. And in 1917 we made a short crop. Sure did make a short crop. Papa had to go off to work in the training camps, defense camps they call them nowadays. So he went to Fort Worth, and Mom and us kids stayed at home, gathered what crops we made, and our maize never did head out. So we took a plow and plowed it up and raked it up, hauled it in and stacked it. And then 1918 was the same old picture. We didn't make, crops didn't make, no feed for our stock, and we had to do something. There wasn't no more defense work for Papa to do, so he bundled up us kids, me and Alf and Red and Zaid, took off to Dallas County to pick cotton that fall, left Irving, Mom, and the little kids all at home. So they gathered what little cotton we had, we went down there and picked cotton, and we come home, and I think we come home around the last of November. Us kids, we started to school. We went on through till 10th of January, it blowed in a blizzard. Caught us without very much fuel and coal to burn, little feed. Our old chickens, a lot of our old chickens feet froze off and the combs all froze. And I believe I heard them say last winter it got 10 below zero on that spell. And we had all the kids, school kids we could house, had a house full that night. Papa, he got up just as quick as the sun come up out. Snow was nearly hub deep to the wagon around there, and he hooked up 4 mules to the wagon and headed out for the winters to buy groceries, coal, and horse feed. And we didn't know when he left, when he'd get back, but he made it just fine. He got his stuff, got back the next day, and we went on through that winter in 1919. We made a bumper crop and got out of debt. That was the greatest thing in the world. Had money, lots of feed, we got lots of good clothes that year. And we just done well, plumb on up until about 1922, bad luck hit us. We lost Mama. And that kind of set us back. I think Coot and Ava hadn't even started school. And we had to look after them. The rest of the kids went going to school. I was getting to be a great big old boy then. So along about 1923, Zaid married, and we had to keep the other girls in school. So I had to quit, take over the farm work. I rode a plow all sorts of days through here, right in here where I'm sitting. And I rode the plow all over while Papa took care of Eva and Coot. I think Coot started school about that year though. And I'll back up a little here. Before, in 1917, Carr died. And that cost us a lot of money. Or that is, not like it is today, but we lost him. He was 5 years old when he died. Then we went on to made our crops, made a good crop and every year and done well. But it was awful hard on my dad having to do what he had to do. He done a lot of riding around with Eva and Coot the bull. And us kids, we toughed it out and come on up through the years. One time, about every summer, Pop and the kids, Pop and the girls, they would, little kids, they would go back down Limestone County to see my grandpa and his family. Then when me and Booger, we'd batch. We had lots of fun batching. They went off out to Tulia one summer. 1924, they went out to Tulia, cranked up that old Model T without any glasses in it, just curtains on it, headed out for Tulia on the 4th of July. Me and Booger, we hooked up our teams and started plowing cotton right across out yonder about where that little well house Kenneth sits. It blowed in a norther about middle of the morning. And
which direction was that? And I'll see if I can point this. What direction was
east.
that? Back out this way? Okay, let me go back up there and you can tell that again. We'll back out this direction.
Yeah.
Okay, and what happened?
Blowed an norther in.
Okay, it's 9:34. So
9:34.
if you can find a quitting spot here, it's beginning to sprinkle.
Yeah, we're done.
So
yeah, we got cold and we went to the house and got us some army overcoats and put them on, and we plowed cotton all day. And that night it come a big rain. We didn't have to plow the next day. Is that enough?
that'll be enough for this time, and next time around we'll pick up on some more, okay?
Okay, I can get some more history.